Hi there, once again on the cloud, we're going to go over Anthos service mesh. So right here, we have a cluster called GKE, all right? I'm gonna create this MVVAR and define a couple of things. So our sound project, also IDNS, and we're going to connect into the cluster. So you can run kubectl commands. Here you go. We can run kube context commands also. I just ran it config.val, so you can have all the information about the GKE cluster itself. All right. We have only one cluster we are in, the other on-prem location and type external. And let's install Anthos. Let's verify the sign-in tour. Is okay. Check the commands. Let's run it. And here I'm going to create trace YAML file. First, we're gonna use that in fill for enable tracing of the mesh config. Here's our tracing YAML. And if you want to run it, I'm gonna use the YAML file to run it. Checking the cluster name, location, zone, the mode, enable the APIs, also overlay the tracing, okay? Refresh that. Keep that okay. All right, so right here, let's configure the cluster for kubectl and register it. Check this command of our rule. And I have a configuration in a bucket. I will copy that on-prem config. Let's export the kubeconfig. Switching the context. Let's print describe secret. I will keep that in a notepad. Now you can log in into that. Great, that's what I would like to do. Now what we want to do, we want to install Istio. How do you do telemetry, security, and observability in a cluster? Using Istio. Just download that. Let's create the namespace for it. Let's install Istio using this command. Takes around like 3 minutes. Let's check the installation is fine. So early components we have. Now we're going to install things that are under. Gonna open the editor. We're going to Istio, samples, add-ons. We're gonna install these, but we can get that from the different YAML locations. So the app we have Grafana, Jaeger, Khaled, Prometheus, the Ash, we have Zipkin and Prometheus operator, but we can install using a YAML under a GitHub URL content. It is Prometheus, Grafana, Jaeger, Khaled. Created. You see all the other components that I have before. Let's get the services. Yes. Now I'm going to switch the context. And I'm going to enable the sidecar injection to deploy application. Injection enabled. I'm install product catalog services. We installed this application. It's an online application. You can run that simply. Let's go to Kubernetes and workloads. It's creating, pod initializing. Okay, we have that on-prem, in our on-prem. You install it on the default. Couple of minutes gonna be done. See more green stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 2, so it's getting green. Switch the context. Now I'm going to export to MVVars. Istd. Also the version. I can do an echo of all the things. And now I'm going to label the namespace. Okay, I guess there's something I could do in a different thing. Let's do an echo of this version. ISM, great. ECUD, you should get that. Let's see, this gives me something. No. Maybe it's the context where I am. I don't care about that. Let's go over. Let's deploy the application. Create a service. Okay, here we have the deployment of our catalog of service. So our deploy is in different clusters. Right. Let's see how something on operators. Let's go to logging. I'd like to show something on login. Okay, we have our types here. We have what we'd like to choose. Everything's about the GKE, etc. Alright. Kubernetes cluster, you can check on that. Everything's about our cluster operator. Now let's go to monitor. You see the thing that happens that we're logging into our stick driver login. Let's check on the monitoring. I check monitoring. Can see the dashboard of GKE. You can have the SLIs or SLOs as a service level indicator, a service level objective. Here you can create alerting monitors. Helps you for having a check policy, health check policy. Okay, let's see, we have something on trace. Trace list. And give a quick start. That's an overview. There's no trace yet. You can close that. There's nothing here. Although let's get back to our application. Now I'm going to deploy a Canary release. Let's clone these two samples. Changing the context. Let's apply it. Okay, should do this. Wait. Now run everything there. Let's do right outside. Okay, we have our thing here. I'm going to into this. Why is that getting there? Let's now organize this version. That's correct. I will double check one in on the fly. I will try the product catalog also. So deployment, destination row. I have one example of destination row, easy to double check. That's correct. Or from where I have it working. It's not matching the version. Should be accepted. That's where also the split. No matchers found. That Canary will not be working because of this. So what we will do, I will show Anthos, by the way. Yeah, what was the purpose of this is installing Anthos. East you stop. We go on the view service mesh. Our services. One as example. There's no loading data. Let's click on healthy. Okay. There's no slow aid to display. We could create an SLO, but since you don't have anything here, you cannot create that. You could create a service level objective here. There's no upcoming data of it. Under healthy, I should be able to create an SLO if I had, let's say, the topology. By the way, this is a simple, very good stuff to check the service mesh. But the fact is, what I would like to install those guys here, and we're not recognizing this network conversion API version for the destination room. So rollback doesn't. We cannot run this split traffic also where it's complaining about this version. It's mismatching the issue. No, is this still CTL? That should be accepted. It's only is the CTL version. 1.8 should be accepted. That destination rule, which I use on my local stuff. By the way, this is everything I'd like to share, but about the installation of Anthos. But we cannot go progress on that because we're not, the ease to install it is not correct. So that's sorry. But the fact is I showed how to install Anthos inside the GKE. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.